Welcome back, Game with King family, to another F1 Clash video. In today's video, we're going to be taking another look at two parts and see which one would be better for you guys to use. And again, I think both of these two parts are pretty good to use. We're going to be looking at the Mirage, we're going to be looking at the Flux, and we're going to be looking at the Whirlpool. And each one of these parts are pretty good in their respective areas. And I think based off of what style you're playing at is where you want to use each one of these parts. All right, so not to make this video too long, we're not going to be doing full races, as that will be like 3 races and the video will be pretty long. But we're just going to mainly talk about them and show matchmaking of these parts. All right, so the Flux here, we're going to start off with the Flux. So the Flux here has been like one of my new personal favorite parts to use into my setup. And the reason why I'm using the Flux over the Mirage and over the Whirlpool is because of matchmaking, and also because we come to find that the AI cars are having fast pit time. Alright, so Series 12 AIs are all maxed out. So if all these parts are maxed out, the pit time is pretty low. And the AI's pit stop time is ranging from 2.4 going up. So for you to compete against those AIs, you're gonna need something close to that region in pit time. So I have decided to throw in the Flux in there to get like some 2.83 seconds in the pits. So my pit time is narrowed down nice and close to the rest of the AIs. And also the Flux gives you mixed matches. It gives in matchmaking, it's pretty nice. It's giving some okay matches. It's not giving the worst, or it's not giving the best kind of matches, but it gives okay matches. Sometimes you get a now and then super bot kind of match, but most of the time you're going to get some matches in range or below your team score, like you see that match there. We're just going to forfeit this race after it starts, as we don't want the video to be too long today. And yeah, so you get nice matches when you're using the Flux in there. So the Flux is one of those parts if you want to get some fast pit time with the AI cars that you're racing against. Not necessarily your rival, but the AI. So like in GP events and places like those, I tend to like to squeeze in the Flux in there to get these good races. Alright, so we're gonna just wait for this race to start, then we're gonna forfeit and throw on the next part, which is gonna be the Mirage. And there you can see that would be an easy win for us, and we probably would have scored a good amount of points in that one. Alright, so that's basically the Flux in a nutshell. At the end, I would say where you should be using each, so make sure you watch a full video so you don't miss out on anything. So next up, we're going to be using the Mirage. Now the Mirage gives you more power level than the Flux. However, it increases your pit time. So the pit time is going to be going up, so you're going to be a little bit longer in pit, so you're going to be losing time to the AIs in pit, but you're going to be gaining plus 10 on your power level. So if we throw on the Mirage there, as you can see, we've gained plus 10 on our power level, but we've lost some pit time. Our pit stop time is now 3.1 seconds. And another thing with the Mirage is that the Mirage kind of pulls more heavy hitters in matchmaking, as you will see here. If sometimes it does pull good matches, but it pulls more heavy hitters, more bad matches over good matches, in my opinion. Alright, it might be maybe for you guys it's pulling more good matches, but in my opinion it pulled more bad matches. There you can see nice even match with the Mirage. So it pulls more matches like this above your team score, close to your team score, just a little bit under your team score. It rarely, sometimes it gives you those matches that are just a little under your team score. Not more often you will be getting outmatched when using the Mirage, more than you outmatching the rival. Alright, so that's just my experience with the Mirage. You still do get good qualifiers, as you can see there, and you still are in there for the fight. It's just that most of the time you're gonna get outmatched. So if you're looking to race some hard races, it's going to bring you some harder races. Not that you can't win these harder races, but it's going to bring you some harder races as you see there. So that's the Mirage. It gives you more power, but it brings more stronger rivals for you to race. All right. So that's the Mirage and how the Mirage works. Basically, for me, especially for me, that's how I've seen the Mirage work. So I kind of stay away from the Mirage. However, if you're in like the top leagues, you're at the front of the pack and you're qualifying, then the Mirage is definitely the part you want to be using. As I said, I'll be sharing where you want to use each part later on. So let's jump on into the next one, then I'll get into that. So the next part is going to be the Whirlpool. Now, the Whirlpool, as you can see, is taking away from the Mirage there. So the Mirage is going to be stronger than the Whirlpool. However, the Whirlpool is also stronger than the Flux in terms of performance, but the pit time, as you can see there, is 0.62 seconds to the Flux. So the Mirage is going to increase your pit time even higher. So your pit time is going to be going up to 3.45 seconds with the Mirage here. All right, now with the Whirlpool here, I should say. All right, so previous in a few months ago, the Whirlpool was great for matchmaking. If you were looking to like outmatch your rival in every match that you race, the Whirlpool was the go-to part to outmatch your rival in like all races, especially in the GP events. If you're looking to outmatch your rival, the Whirlpool was the go-to part. All right, but recently I've noticed while using the Whirlpool, you still do outmatch your rivals, like you see we are outmatching this rival here. But more often now, it's like Hutch is throwing in some wrenches in the Whirlpool setup. So sometimes you're gonna get outmatched. Like 4 out of, let's say your GP race, you're doing your 8 GP races, 4 out of the 8, you're gonna get bad matches when using the Whirlpool. So I've kind of personally moved away from the Whirlpool, but it is still a good part to use, and it still gets you good matches for most part of the races. All right, especially in the GP events, for most of your races, the Whirlpool will get you those good matches, and you will be outmatching your rival and be getting to put up a good score, as you can see there. All right, so let's now jump into where you want to be using these parts. So let's start off with the best part out of all 3 parts there. The strongest part out of all 3 parts there is going to be the Mirage. All right, so the Mirage is the strongest part out of all 3. Max level or not max level, as long as you have them like 1 level away from max, the Mirage is the best part out of all 3. However, with the Mirage, if you're in like qualifying in the front of the pack, so you're going to be aiming for a challenge for the fastest lap and stuff like that, then the Mirage is the part that you want to be using to challenge for the fastest lap. All right, if you're qualifying in like mid-pack and you're like in the middle of the pack, then you want to go with the Flux. If you're in the middle of the pack, so you get a little faster pit time, so you could get the jump on the AIs and possibly your rival if they're not using the Flux as well. All right, now if you're in the back of the pack, then the Whirlpool is going to be the best part for you at the back of the pack. The reason why the Whirlpool is going to be the best part at the back of the pack is because the Whirlpool is going to give you good matches for most of your races. So you can overpower your rival and possibly push through a good amount of the pack to make up some points. All right, so that's basically this video explaining all 3 of the gears that you want to use. Sometimes you can also try flinging in the spirit in there. It's mostly going to be giving you reliability, so be mindful of that. It doesn't really give you so much power or anything like that, so you kind of want to, I kind of stay away from using the spirit. But these 3 here, Flux, Mirage, and Whirlpool, are the 3 you want to be using, and use them in their own respective right. And as I said, they're all good in their own respective right. But if you're going for the strongest, that's going to be the Mirage. The second strongest from the Mirage is going to be the Flux. And the last but not least is going to be the Whirlpool. All right, so some people might say the whirlpool is better than the flux. In my opinion, the flux is better than the whirlpool. But yeah, it's up to you to decide which one is best for you. But these three parts, there you go, you got it. Explanation for all three, and which one you should use, where in the pack you're qualifying, and so on and so forth. So leave code word boost down below to let me know that you made it to this portion of the video, as I think this video is going to give you a big boost in your GP events and your GP qualifiers, especially if you've been getting bad matches and you have this part in. Then you want to switch that part out to either the flux, which is the second best part, or the whirlpool, which is the third best part, and you probably will be getting better matches with those parts. All right, so that's basically going to be it for this one, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Remember to smash that like button if you haven't already done so. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Walk good, guys. Bye. Shout out to Marco Pedrana, Vid Mantis, Alfredo Jr., and Touch My Dilly.
And they say if we'll only avoid any confrontation